Hi. Parkour in the gaming industry is very popular, and it's not surprising running and overcoming obstacles looks very spectacular. However, there are almost no games on PC where parkour is the main gameplay mechanic. In this video, I will talk about games where parkour is an important gameplay element, and I'll start with the Assassin's Creed series. Parkour in Assassin's Creed has been and remains a key gameplay mechanic. In all parts of the series, which take us to different historical epochs, there are plenty of gameplay mechanics, among which moving across urban rooftops and using acrobatics in combat are the main ones. Parkour allows the player to stealthily infiltrate guarded territories, survey the area, and evade enemies. This mechanic is intuitively understandable in all parts. The open world here is truly open in the sense that the character can literally latch onto any ledge and climb any structure. Prince of Persia. In Prince of Persia, parkour has always been an important part of the game. Unlike the single-button parkour in Assassin's Creed, acrobatics in Prince of Persia challenges the player's skills and requires time to master. The debut release of the Prince of Persia series in 1989 was probably the first game to introduce parkour elements. With the transition to 3D, developers expanded and developed the gameplay ideas laid down in the original. The prince learned to run along walls and jump off them, climb ropes, perform somersaults on bars, and combine all these techniques. The Saboteur. A stylish action game with stealth elements set in World War II tells the adventures of an Irishman who joined the ranks of the French resistance. The hero carries out sabotage, eliminates enemies, gathers important information, and is aided in this by stealth and the ability to climb walls. The parkour system in the Saboteur is reminiscent of Assassin's Creed. The protagonist grabs onto protruding parts of buildings and quickly pulls himself up. The player only needs to hold down a couple of buttons and watch the process. Marc Ecko's Getting Up contents under pressure. Behind the lengthy title hides an adventure-action game telling the story of a street artist who opposes the tyranny of the government in an anti-utopian city. The hero paints walls, fights representatives of opposing factions, and exposes the corrupt mayor. Acrobatic skills come in handy here since the guy tries to leave his drawings in the most inaccessible places so that rivals and municipal services cannot reach them. Dying Light. When the streets of the city are filled with hordes of zombies, the skills of quickly overcoming obstacles become more than useful. In this world, the hero swiftly runs across rooftops, skillfully climbs walls, and almost runs over the heads of the infected. And if during the daytime in the game you can leisurely stroll through the streets, fending off the undead, then at night, when fast and deadly monsters go hunting, it's better to rush to the nearest shelter as quickly as possible. Sleeping Dogs. The developers of the action-packed Sleeping Dogs clearly consulted with professional tracers. The game's protagonist, an undercover cop, jumps over fences as if he has been training for months. His movements clearly demonstrate parkour techniques, and this greatly helps in the gameplay. Virtual Hong Kong is quite tight and tangled, so sometimes it's easier to reach the goal by rooftops than to run through winding alleys for a long time. Styx, the duology of stealth action games about a goblin thief who infiltrates the most impregnable fortresses and steals various valuables from there. To achieve the goal, the hero has to rely on agility and nimbleness. It's much easier to climb onto the roof, find a hidden passage, and sneak past the guards unnoticed than to go head-on. Local acrobatics, however, do not require any skills from the players. Styx climbs walls automatically, and all we need to do is to set the direction of movement. 7. The Days Long Gone. An isometric RPG with parkour elements in an open world. The action takes place in a unique sci-fi setting where future technologies have merged with medieval traditions. From a gameplay perspective, it's like Assassin's Creed with an isometric camera. Sneaky infiltrations, running across rooftops, climbing ropes and walls, stealing, traps, sabotage, quiet kills. And also leveling up, trading, and lots of dialogues. Side quests are praised for their deep elaboration and variability, and the huge open world for an incredible sense of freedom. Mirror's Edge. Perhaps the Mirror's Edge duology is one of the most well-known games where parkour serves as the foundation of the gameplay mechanics. The setting is the near future, dystopian, and futuristic. The main protagonist of both games runs across rooftops, infiltrates buildings through ventilation shafts, and hacks corporate networks. In combat, she can skillfully disarm opponents, leap over them, run along walls, and generally use the environment in the most unconventional ways. The developers have accurately conveyed the sense of speed and ease of overcoming obstacles while implementing simple controls and an engaging gameplay. Ghostrunner, a cyberpunk-themed slasher with platformer and parkour elements. Controlling a futuristic ninja, players will ascend the floors of a tower, upgrade skills, and fight enemies to reach the top and confront the tyrant. Movement is one of the main aspects of gameplay here. The game requires a lot of running, jumping, climbing walls, and sliding on inclined surfaces. Ghostrunner feels like Mirror's Edge with combat, and the combination of these gameplay elements provides players with a powerful adrenaline rush. Saints Row 4. An example of a game where overcoming obstacles is extremely exaggerated. The protagonist, endowed with supernatural powers, runs on walls, jumps on skyscrapers, and even flies through the air. Such advanced abilities come in handy when facing aliens. Realism and seriousness in the game are minimal, but there's a lot of fun, spectacle, and excitement. For the Saints Row series, this is the best complement. Middle-earth. In the adventure-action games Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War, parkour greatly facilitates progression, allowing players to quickly climb buildings, discreetly eliminate orc guards, and bypass powerful bosses. It's meant to complement rather than complicate the gameplay, so you won't have to memorize button combinations for climbing walls. Everything is done with the press of a single button, which doesn't diminish the enjoyment of conquering seemingly inaccessible peaks. Rise of the Tomb Raider. The franchise about the incomparable Tomb Raider has been rebooted 3 times. The main series alone includes 12 games. Rise, if not the best, is definitely one of the best parts. And the parkour here is balanced, gameplay-driven, and visually impressive. In this installment, Lara heads to Siberia in search of Kitez. The heroine has to crawl through trees, cliffs, and structures. There's a crafting system that allows making weapons, traps, healing salves, and more from makeshift materials. Combat is quite simple, with QTE scenes characteristic of the series as well as stealth. The locations are large and atmospheric, and Lara constantly needs to climb somewhere and squeeze through something using her acrobatic prowess. Remember Me. What happens when you combine the world of Cyberpunk 2077, the acrobatics of Tomb Raider, the combat of Batman, Arkham City, and the intricate plot of BioShock? You get the underrated Remember Me Lost in Time. Here, we explore Paris in 2084, which has changed beyond recognition after the creation of a chip capable of rewriting memories. As for parkour, it's an important gameplay element here, without which the game would lose its essence, but the main features are the combat and the well-crafted world, capable of captivating from the first minutes. Warframe. The Space Warriors 10-0 from the cooperative online action game Warframe not only look stylish, but also move beautifully. The game employs a system of acrobatic obstacle traversal, allowing characters to elegantly leap over obstacles while running through locations. Given the futuristic setting of the game, the fighters possess advanced techniques compared to modern tracers, so the tricks are much more spectacular. Prototype. The games in the Prototype series are dedicated to all-powerful protagonists for whom there are no obstacles. Here, the source of superpower is a powerful virus, thanks to which the main characters grow tentacles, are covered in strong armor, hurl cars, run along building walls, and leap from rooftop to rooftop. All of this is accompanied by captivating missions and a dramatic storyline. Sunset Overdrive, a vibrant action game with an open world where you must survive in a locally occurring apocalypse. However, surviving is too serious a word for this game as it's infused with humor, enthusiasm, and madness. Playing as the main character, you'll be grinding on wires and jumping across rooftops, inventing new types of weapons, and battling terrifying monsters, victims of a failed batch of the local energy drink. Young, the main protagonist of this indie survival simulator, finds herself held captive by unknown kidnappers somewhere on an island in the Mediterranean Sea. Now she needs to find a way to escape using her gymnastic skills, cunning, and makeshift items. She'll face savages, predatory animals, and perilous ancient ruins. Young isn't a classic survival game with resource gathering, shelter building, and complex crafting, but rather a dynamic adventure where the player is constantly on the move. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. This is a unique stealth action game from the Souls series, set in feudal Japan. The game is rich in historical, fantasy, and folklore elements. The main character, instead of a left hand, has a technological prosthetic. It introduces parkour elements and vertical gameplay into the game. Here, we'll constantly be running on rooftops, moving around locations with a grappling hook, and skillfully climbing ledges. Titanfall. First-person shooters from the creators of Call of Duty allow you not only to control giant mechs, but also to run on walls to your heart's content. The action of the Titanfall series takes place in the future, so the soldiers here are equipped with jump packs, which help them run faster and jump higher. This significantly speeds up the gameplay. Gamers zip around like crazy, performing incredible somersaults in the air and instantly climbing onto the roofs of buildings. Speed and mobility become the keys to survival here, so mastering parkour is essential as quickly as possible. Marvel's Spider-Man. The first game about Spider-Man that managed to catch up with and even surpass cinema in terms of direction and spectacle. Thanks to the huge New York City and impressive animation, Peter Parker here can perform such impressive acrobatics that all other Spider-Man games are simply out of competition. Just try swinging around New York City, and you'll be amazed at how effortlessly Spidey navigates and jumps over any obstacles in his path. However, this is just a small part of what the game offers: flying over the city, dynamic fights, and amazing plot twists. A Story About My Uncle. In search of his uncle, the main character of this game finds himself in an incredible world completely unlike our own. Here, he will encounter amazing creatures, uncover many secrets, and also traverse multi-level locations using a power hook, enjoying stunning landscapes. This is a great platformer with puzzle elements, and it will surely surprise you with a combination of charming visual style and captivating gameplay. Naraka: Bladepoint. This is a battle royale game with parkour elements. While the movement system here is much broader than modern parkour, as characters can climb and run on walls, make long-distance jumps, and use various gadgets like grappling hooks. Combining Chinese mythology and various martial arts, the game has become one of the most unique and exciting representatives of the genre. Severed Steel. A highly dynamic shooter with parkour, styled in a futuristic setting where you'll run, jump, and slide, trying to survive under a hail of bullets and destroy your enemies. By using various firearms, parkour elements, and time-slowing mechanics, you'll be able to find the formula for success in battles against an army of mercenaries. It's one of the best shooters of 2021, and if you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend giving it a try. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. In this game, you must choose one of several characters who spend their time racing through the streets, performing various tricks, and graffitiing the streets. In this city, several factions operate, each with its own goals and distinctive features. Some of them will become your allies, while with others, you'll have to compete for graffiti spots. Sometimes you'll have to deal with police forces and various quirky characters. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Welcome to the amazing world of Pandora, a planet full of beauty, dangers, and adventures. Parkour plays a significant role in the Avatar universe. The game offers a fast and smooth parkour system that can even compete with Dying Light 2. Styx can easily climb trees, scale walls, jump off cliffs, and land on the ground. While Dying Light 2 has some parkour elements scattered around the map, parkour in Frontiers of Pandora revolves around the environment. Here, players will use exploding mushrooms to bounce onto tall trees, jump from ramps to cross wide gaps, climb up ascending vines, and use giant leaves to slow down their descent. Deadlight. The protagonist in Deadlight is not a brave warrior but an ordinary survivor searching for his family. So it's much more preferable for him to escape from hordes of zombies than to engage in combat with them. Parkour comes to his aid with constant rooftop jumps, climbing on ropes, and so on. The distinguishing feature of the game is its brevity. Deadlight can literally be completed in one evening, but it will be a very interesting evening. Neon White, a dynamic and challenging first-person action platformer dedicated to the adventures of a hired killer fighting for the right to secure a place in heaven. According to the plot, the hero was transferred from hell to compete with other demon hunters for a chance to stay in heaven forever. To do this, we'll fight enemies, collect soul cards, uncover the secrets of heaven, and get to know other assassins. Jumping and shootouts are interspersed with elements of card games, and the game's witty plot will be remembered for a long time. Thief. Such a legendary game series hardly needs an introduction. In the fourth installment, the visual style and parkour reached a new level. The main character is a thief, and a top-tier one at that. Gameplay-wise, we're looking at stealth action, where parkour plays a significant role. It's better to hide from guards in dark alleys and on rooftops. The character can climb almost any ledge, grab onto beams, and ropes. The world is open, but only within the confines of the story locations, which represent separate districts of the city. Dishonored, a series of stealth action games distinguished by their unusual setting and skillful blending of gameplay mechanics. Here, you can combine stealth with open combat and the use of supernatural abilities, significantly increasing the variety of mission completion methods and immersion in the game world. In the Dishonored series, parkour plays a strategically important role, but much relies, for example, on the protagonist's ability to teleport. That's all. Thank you for watching. The Image Game channel was with you. Have a good day.